a new respiratory illness, causing pneumonia-like symptoms, coughing and fever. By the time the World Health Organization was notified of the new illness on December 31, 2019, the coronavirus had been traced to one likely source, a live animal market in Wuhan, China. This is the leading hypothesis at the moment because this isn't the first time this has happened. Many of our pandemic viruses throughout history come from animals. Swine flu emerged from pigs, Ebola from bats, HIV from primates. Viruses exist in various animals like in humans. The problem comes when these viruses are transmitted between various animals, and in particular when they're transmitted to humans. In the case of coronavirus, there's evidence the virus originated in bats, was transmitted to a pangolin, then infected humans. These viruses are transmitted easily between species, but rarely encounter the opportunity to interact. There's very few situations in the wild where this series of transmissions would occur, but there is one place. Wet markets are present all over the world, but many do not have the range of exotic meats you may find in China. This originated out of China's post-Mao market reforms in the late 70s, where farmland was redistributed to individual households, leading to a boom in small-scale farmers. In the 90s, a second boom industrialised most production of pork and poultry, pushing out small-scale farmers who couldn't compete. These farmers turned to local breeds and wild animals, which could fetch higher profits in niche, wealthier markets. These wet markets emerged as a platform to sell these rare and exotic meats, but as the sellers are typically small-scale, they are more informal and loosely regulated than their industrialised counterparts. Animals are stacked on top of each other and bodily fluids are frequently exchanged. In 2003, another respiratory illness emerged out of a wet market in southern China, SARS, a pandemic that killed over 800 people. In response, Chinese officials closed all live animal markets and banned wildlife farming. These bans were lifted just months later. There are now calls for a permanent ban on captive breeding and wild animal sales, not just in China, but all over the world. Chinese officials have indicated that they will amend their Wildlife Protection Act that encourages wildlife farming, but only time will tell if this will be enough.